Good day, everyone, and welcome to another exciting, fun-filled episode of my Random Thoughts. Today, again, as if it, didn't affect me every single day of my life and every moment of my life, I wanted to talk about autism and how absolutely annoying beyond words it is to make phone calls. I am a person that was born in the wrong time because I wish I was born sooner so that I could embrace and enjoy more of the texting, email, online appointment making kind of existence that we live in now. But sadly, not everybody has gotten with the program. For example, the hairdresser place that I go to get my hair cut, they don't have an online scheduling service, so I can't just, bring up an app and look and see when's available, and then I can look at my calendar and sip my tea and, have a Zen moment and try and, reconcile these two things and peacefully pick when the appointment's going to be. No. I got to sit here right now and stare at my phone. I'm literally staring at my phone is today going to be the day that I pick this thing up, that I go within the depths of my soul and I find the courage to pick this phone up and press that button and have that person be like, hello, this is the salon or wherever, and how can I help you? And I'm like, well, it's probably something to do with my hair since you're a hairdresser place. So, it's not like I'm calling to ask their thoughts on God or anything, or, what am I doing with my life? And God, I ask myself that every single day. Multiple times throughout the day, actually. But it's right off the bat. It's hello, this is the hair salon where we do things with hair. How may I help you? It's what do you mean, how may you help me? How may you help me? I'm seeking you out because you're a center for hair management and stuff revolving around hair. I mean, it's almost like they should answer the phone and be like, hi, what would you like us to do with your hair and when? I'll be like, okay, well, I want you to cut it, and here's a list of days. And the thing is, they say to me, oh, so I say, hi, I'd like to make an appointment with haircut with so-and-so. Shout out to you who know who you are. I hope you're enjoying this because I'll be seeing you soon. But anyway, and she absolutely knows the madness more than anybody, really. Another God's gift to the earth to be able to put up with me. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. They say to me, I say to them, I'm like, hi, I'd like to make an appointment for a haircut with so-and-so. And then they're then you hear them flipping through a calendar. They're flipping through a calendar. And they're like, okay, I have an appointment on Friday at 2. And I'm like, whoa. Let's back up here. Friday at 2? Who said anything about Friday at 2? I didn't say anything about Friday at 2. I have a whole calendar over here that I've studied like a map of Europe in World War II as I'm trying to achieve victory and handling this hair menace that's on the top of my head. And I have strategically planned out dates and times which are ideal to my autistic mind that craves stability and routine and some semblance of control over this insane thing we call life. And she says to me, Friday at 2. I'm like, who said anything about that? I didn't say anything about that. So, of course, I have to say, no, I was actually thinking 3 weeks from now, in the morning, on a Thursday or Friday. And then here comes the baffling. Wait a minute. You want to schedule this thing 3 weeks in advance? Nobody does that. They want the first available appointment. And I give them the first available appointment and then they say yes. And then we talk about what other random small talk there is that is involved in basic human interaction, which I'll never understand. So, of course, she's like, oh, God, now I have to flip over my calendar, 8 months in advance. I'm like, well, I plan things 8 months in advance because that's just the name of the game with this aspect of neurodivergence, which I'm so happy to be sharing with you guys. Hopefully you're getting a laugh too because I'm having a blast over here. But anyway, then finally, it's this whole push-pull back and forth kind of thing, this crazy tug of war, this crazy debate and negotiation. It's like, no, it's like, I'm not going to give that up. I'm not going to give that day up to you. That day is taken. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, how about the next day? And it's like, I'll say in the morning, right? Like, I mean, like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11. They're like, well, how about 3 in the afternoon? I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you please, for the sweet, merciful love of God, just make an app that has the available days, and then I can press a button on my phone and I can navigate around this complex insanity that is human interaction, which I will never understand without some type of divine intervention from the heavens to help me understand it. And it's like, and if there's a problem, then text me or call me or email me. It's like, why have we forgotten technology? It's like, why does this hairdresser have to be in the 1800s? Like, there's tumbleweeds going around in the background and we're in the Wild West and I got to like ride up on a horse and be like, ma'am, can I get a haircut? Like, what is this? What is this? We live in a technological age, honestly, and I'd like to embrace the technology, before the AI takes over everything. Allegedly, whatever, who knows? Oh man, how amazing will that be when the AI takes over everything and it just comes to my house and it's like, I know that it's time for a haircut. So here I am. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. You got this whole thing figured out. How nice. Oh, it's going to be something else. Anyway, back to the nightmare that is making an appointment for a haircut. As I sit here looking like Cousin It with like hair down to my knees, and it's like somebody thinks I'm Sasquatch and is going to try and, go squatching and be like, I found him. I found Sasquatch. No, it turns out it's just this autistic guy that doesn't like to pick up the phone and, talk with somebody for 10 seconds on the phone to make a haircut appointment. And it's like, we finally agree on a date, a date and a time. And it's like after these harsh negotiations, it's like, oh, I gave up some ground. But you know what? I think both parties came away from this somewhat satisfied, Then it's like, okay, like, what's your name and phone number? I'm like, okay, first of all, what's my name? God, I always mess that one up. It's a toughie, honestly. It's a toughie. And then what's my phone number? I'm like, well, you got caller ID, right? They're like, your phone number. And then I'm like, as I'm about to say it, they're like, oh, is it this, and this? I'm like, yeah, it is, because that's the number I'm calling on. I'm like, well, what else do you think? What do you think this is? It's like smoke signals, like we're on tin cans. I'm trying to talk to you through tin cans. Come on. What is this? What kind of a world do we live in, people? Anyway, and I hang up and, I down a bottle of anti-anxiety meds, to kind of just, and don't do that. I'm not recommending that. Don't do that. This is me. They're M&Ms. They're M&Ms. I like to down a bottle of M&Ms. That's my anti-anxiety. And that's bad too sometimes, I guess. Anyway. And of course the final upset, the coup de grace on me is when they call the day before to remind me of said appointment. And the mistake that I've made of picking up the phone and they're all like, hi, is this so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, this is so-and-so. And they're like, we're just calling to remind you of this appointment that you have tomorrow at this time with this person to get your hair cut. And I'm like, thank you. I have it marked on my calendar, like, Berlin in World War II. Like, this is the moment we're going to have triumph. That's what we're all working towards. It's like, let's win this war. I have this massive map of Europe, like a calendar on my dining room table. Like, we are marching forward to this date and time where I'm going to get my hair cut. And it's like, but you called me and reminded me, and again, like, that's very nice of them and, whatever. But, millions of doctors' offices figured out how to text you reminders. But, I'm going back to the saloon and I'm going back to the Wild West, like, giddy up, I'm like the Lone Ranger going for a haircut, back into the 1800s where we like can't figure out how to use text. But anyway, so wish me luck. I am going to try and work up the courage to pick up this phone and make an appointment for a haircut before, the Sasquatch hunters come and get me, because I can see them in the distance. Like, they're like just licking their lips. They're like, we're going to get them today. But yeah, so, you're just getting some to all my autistic compadres and amigos out there. I think hopefully you can relate to this, and to all those that don't understand autism, well, here you go. Here's an intimate look into the mind of the autistic person. All right, well, whatever. So I'm going to try and make this haircut appointment now. God help us all. We'll see how it works. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of this, even if it was just a chuckle. And if not, that's cool too. Maybe you'll enjoy one of these other videos on the channel. There's just so much to choose from. Anyway, good day to you. And as always, the answer is love.